any more than I already have.
Yeah.
Through
No,
everything.
it's nice that it's a nice, intimate group. Then hopefully I can answer any questions or help you guys with anything in particular that you're wondering about. So that's perfect.
So guys, this is Aimee Coppola. For those of you that don't know her, she is a 7-star Diamond 2 times Elite. Yeah, and one of the best friends I've met in this business, honestly. I love her dearly. And I'm so thankful for the opportunity because without it, I would have never met her. So without further ado, I will let her take it away.
Oh, sorry. Hang on. Sorry. Hey, we make it work, right? Okay, so yes, I'm Aimee. I have just like a couple of quick little slides. What I was excited to talk to you guys about today is income, the comp plan. These are things that sometimes get glossed over. Sometimes we have questions about, or we're not quite sure. We've heard this, but we're not really experts on it. And it's something that it's really important for growing a successful and thriving business. So it is something that I dug into right away because I did come in to really do something with this business. And I'll give you a little bit about my background in just a minute, but I'm going to go over some basics. I'm going to go over, and Katrina, you're going to be excited because you know the basics, but one thing that I've kind of uncovered just in the last 6 months about the way that we goal set for incomes is something that I think I had been missing in a lot of my trainings before. This is kind of my niche, this and mindset. So I've done a lot of these trainings and can explain the comp plan really well, but there's, I think, a really big piece that I was missing, and to have kind of uncovered it in the last couple of months is just super exciting to me. So I hope that it's going to be helpful for each of you. I know it's helping me right now as well. So we'll get into that. It's really exciting. Hey, Maddie. So I'm going to share a screen really quick. And that's my desktop, nice and fun. And there's just a few, so don't get too impressed. So just again, a little bit of information about me. I've been coaching for 6 years, and I came to coaching when I was about to go through a divorce. I had filed for bankruptcy with my ex-husband. In my prior life, I was an accounting manager for 13 years. And it's not because it was something that I loved. It was just something that I had worked my way up through the hospitality industry. And since I was a hard worker, they plugged me into a vacant accounting space that needed work. And I did really well, just again, because I have a very strong work ethic and worked hard, figured it out, and continued moving up the ladder from there. Again, not because it's something that I loved or was even excited about. I would always say, like, I hated at parties when people would ask me, so what do you do? I'd always want to like crawl under the table because I'd be like, accounting. And it was always like every single time, like end of the conversation, people would just kind of like look around with their shoes, like, what do you say about accounting? Nothing. So again, not something that I felt any connection with, but it did, at that point, I'd been doing it so long that I did have a, good paycheck from it. So I felt like I was kind of stuck there until I was laid off. And I was laid off coming back the day after my daughter's maternity leave. So they called me in and I brought her because I knew what was going on. And they were a wonderful company, but, it was that time that just a lot of things were happening, and they had learned and I had taught the other people how to function without me while I was on a maternity leave. So they had to make a, corporate decision to cut where they could. And unfortunately I was there. At the same time, my ex-husband had a position that he was being paid very largely on commissions to hotels and restaurants for food and beverage industry. And that at the same time was tanking. So we went from, a very good salary to a very, very nothing salary. So lots of things were happening, lots of financial issues, but, you know, in the midst of that, no matter what, I'm a survivor, I'm strong, I'm, you know, a mama of two littles at that point. So I, you know, did everything that I could to make it work, to make the ends meet, to figure out and, you know, just get by. So it came to a point where I was certainly not goal setting. I was certainly not thinking farther than next week's groceries or keeping the lights on that month. You know, again, it was a point of survival. But a lot of times when you're in that point of survival, you can't find your way out of that. And anything, like any idea of that is almost like preposterous. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you want me to goal set? You want me to do this and that? I can't even, like, how about we just get shoes that fit the kids tomorrow? Like, you know, and it's a place that although you're lost, you don't even realize it, right? Because you're just kind of like, you don't even have time to think, am I lost? Who knows, you know? And then obviously you could see my picture on the left-hand side. I was, you know, not feeling confident in my own skin. I was carrying around 30 pounds of extra weight that my daughter was almost 3. So I kept calling it baby weight, like lots of us moms do, but it's clearly the baby's missing by this point, but all the weight is still on, right? So when I finally started coming around to the idea of Beachbody, I reached out to Becky, my coach, and I asked her, Becky, what is it that you're doing? And she says, oh, you should try it. You're going to love it. It's P90X. And I was like, whoa, 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 no. That means I'd have to work out at home. I'd have to do this and that and the other. And I just was absolutely certain that was not for me. So I told her no. And I told her no numerous times over that next year. And I just decided to go start running because it was free. And I figured if I ran enough, the weight would come off. And I made a post actually the other day about it because I did lose some weight, but my body was beat up. My physique was still not anywhere near what I, you know, had hoped. I was not able to wear shorts during that marathon because my thighs would rub together and I'd chafe. And it was like, yeah, Maddie, you too. It was very eye-opening, and it was both inspiring and enlightening to get to that marathon start line and look around at all the people who were standing next to me. Because I was like, wow, there's some really all shapes and sizes. There's really old people. There's really thin people. There's a couple of athletes, except they were in the front and I was way in the back. There was, you know, all these people and a lot of overweight people. And I thought, how in the world are they going to run 26 miles? And then half of them passed me during the race. And so that was just like, you know, it was very enlightening to me to see, you know, wow, number one, you really can do anything you set your mind to because they're doing it and I'm doing it and we're all just doing it. And number two, running is not going to change my physique into what I'm, you know, want to do. So after that race, I finally reached out to Becky and, you know, connected with her. Got P90X2. It was just releasing at that time. And I did it like super under the radar, 5 a.m, didn't tell anybody. And it was probably because I didn't think I was going to stick to it. And I did though. And within that first month, it was just like, I finally felt like that spark's coming back. Like, and I had to modify the heck out of it, but it was like, oh my gosh, I can feel the difference. I can start to see the difference. This is taking me, you know, I'm far from perfect, but I am finally seeing progress. And that's a lot of times the only thing that we need to help people do is start creating that little bit of progress to create the belief in their own selves, whether it's in the business or in, you know, their health journey, to help them move forward. So from there, I finally decided to enroll as a coach. Again, we were going through bankruptcy. I knew that, like, you know, spending this money on myself was something I saved up for, number one. And then when I finally did it, I told myself, okay, you've got 30 days to get your money back. Otherwise you're going to cancel. So, you know, let's get your money back that you spent on your challenge pack. And, you know, then you can afford, hopefully, Shakeology the next month. And by this point, I was just I thought Shakeology, and it's true, was going to be like the last missing piece. I was doing the program. I was like feeling so much better. And I had done P90X too without ever doing, Shakeology or anything. So when I finally, had the opportunity to get Shakeology, I was just so excited. That was like my first why. It was really to have Shakeology and to be able to just feel confident. Plus that was going to take down the cost of my groceries because I was replacing breakfast with it. So, that's something that it was very encouraging to me. So we did that. And after that first month, I realized, hey, not only did I get a couple people to do this next group with me, but this was really fun. And then I started hearing about Success Club Trip. And that year you could go to Disney World. And I thought, oh my gosh, my kids are 3 and 6. And there's nothing I would love more than to be able to take them. We hadn't taken them on a vacation, in years with everything that had been going on. And again, my divorce was coming up. So there's so many emotions that go into that, even though I knew for certain by that point that divorce was unfortunately the only way I could go. At the same time too, you just feel awful, like, what you're about to walk through with your children. So a lot of things were tied into that, but I just kept thinking, if I can only do enough to get this trip, it's going to give me that happy light at the end of the tunnel. I'm going to take my kids to the world's happiest place and we're all going to be okay, And at the same time, Christmas was coming up and I had nothing left for Christmas. My ex was going to move out on the 26th and, we were going to proceed from there. But coming into Christmas, we had, no extra money for gifts. So what I kept thinking is I'm going to earn this trip because I'm going to go into Disney store. And it's exactly what I did once I finally locked in Success Club for December. I went into the store and the Disney store and I asked them to please have 2 of their gift cards, not loaded or anything. And I wrapped those up and I was able to put those under the tree for the kids as, what Santa brought them is this trip to Disney World. And that just, it completely made a really terrible time in my life, something that was just like, I can give them this. And they were so excited. And it was just the most amazing trip when we got to go that spring. But it was just something that was, incredible. And obviously over the years, I've been able to continue with coaching and it's become my absolute passion. I love helping people both. I'm very into the health aspect of it, but I also love helping people create new lives, with the business for themselves as well. So of course, can't complain about getting in the best shape of your life when you're 40. It's freaking awesome. And, again, just feeling good, feeling like I really got a second chance at life. And again, that I get to share that with other people. So when I share, guys, now the, bits and pieces of the comp plan, understand that I always pray over this before I do these talks because I feel such an obligation when I share the compensation plan and the business piece, because I know what it did for me. And if I can do my job of helping you understand how to best use this to create freedom in your own lives, then God's doing his job through me. And I get a little emotional because that's honestly how I feel. Like it's beyond me. What we do is so much bigger than us. And sometimes we get into that suck hole of just, somebody's going to say this and somebody's going to say that. You know what? No, you're here for a reason. And, you need to focus on that. So we'll get into the technical piece a bit now, and then we'll go into a little bit of woo. Woo woo. But here we go. So the obvious things, you guys, this is probably review. If there's a piece that you don't know and you want a little bit more explanation on, pop in the chat and let me know, and I will slow down and or stop. So challenge pack bonuses, obviously the most easy and obvious way, $40 to $105 per pack. On everything else, we have a 25% retail commission. So obviously the challenge pack bonuses are a little bit higher. And what you'll notice with challenge packs is that the team volume, which we'll talk about volume in a second, is actually a little bit lower. So don't think that this is the only way. Obviously Success Club points are tied to these, but as you're growing your income, you can do this and or lots of other products. You're still going to get a 25% retail commission. Team cycle bonus is an opportunity for you to earn a bonus. So as soon as you're Emerald, which I know lots of you are, you start earning those team cycle bonuses. That first one you get is usually 14 whopping dollars. And you're like, this is the big deal. Are you freaking kidding me? But that $14, as you continue to grow your team, as your team grows their team, that becomes a very, very large percentage of your business. So right now I can tell you it's probably at least 95% of my weekly income. So it's something really exciting. Michael Neiman does a really goofy video that explains how that works as far as, you know, how everybody's sales funnel up and pay you out on that. And, you know, the way I like to explain it to people too, and sometimes if they're coming from a different background, it kind of helps. And this also helps if you have somebody that's like, oh, it's a pyramid thing. Yes, it is. Just like everything else, every other corporate structure. But another way I like to share it is like in a real estate office, you have the broker who owns the real estate office, and the broker can always go sell their own houses and earn their own, you know, money from the houses that they sell, but also all of the realtors that they bring into their office. Those realtors, they list a house, they sell a house, they get their piece, and the broker is also awarded, you know, paid out something as well. So that's one of the ways that I like to help people kind of wrap their head around it. Same concept as the broker of your team, you're able to do as much retail sales as you want, and as your team creates their own sales, you'll get awarded for that as well. So matching bonus, once you become a diamond coach, you earn a 5 or 10% of your PS coach cycle bonus. So what that means is when my coach is earning $100, it's really cool because I'll earn $10, and that's again another bonus on top. So that's really exciting. Another reason why you want to get to diamond as soon as possible. There's also a leadership star diamond quarterly bonus. So once you get to diamond, diamond is an awesome stop, but you want to make it just that. Diamond is like, I have analogies for everything, guys, sorry. Diamond is like getting your college degree, right? You work, and you get your college degree, and you're like, yeah, I did it. But if you get your college degree and don't do anything with it, does it mean anything? A little bit, but like you really got to go take your college degree and then put it to work at that point. And that's really what I think of as diamond. You get there and it's awesome, and now you can do the work. Now you can create the team. Now you can create an organization and really impact, you know, hundreds and thousands of lives. So what you really want to shoot for very quickly is a 2-star bonus. A 2-star rank, which allows you to start benefiting from these quarterly bonuses. You benefit from quarterly bonuses at the 2-star, 5-star, 10-star, and 15-star ranks. So those are awesome bonuses. Before we get to this piece, I have a little tool that I use sometimes. You guys remember I said I have an accounting mindset. So I like to kind of use spreadsheets. And when I was trying to figure out my next why after earning Disney World, once I started finally understanding that there was an actual full-time income possibility with this, you know, opportunity, I was like, well, shoot, if I could do this full-time, there's no question in my mind. At that point, I was working with an attorney downtown and commuting an hour in traffic each way, and working. I had started doing paralegal work. I had started going to school. Like, I didn't realize that I could do as well as I could with, you know, Beachbody. So I had just gone into full force mode of reinventing myself. So gone back to school, I was doing paralegal work, I was doing my accounting, I was doing all these things. And so when I realized that I could potentially create, I knew it was not going to happen overnight. Probably the you know, numbers side of me recognized that very quickly. But once I saw it, it's like, once I saw that, I couldn't unsee it, right? I saw like, oh my goodness, hold on. If I just keep doing this over and over and over and over and over and bigger and more, like the more people I help, the more I earn, the more my heart is happy, and the bigger my bank deposit is, that's why wouldn't I do this? So what I did is I reverse engineered. So just to use a simple number, if I said, okay, if I want to stay home, and work from home and do this full time, if I need to make $1,000 a week, what would $1,000 a week in cycle bonus look like? And so I kind of plugged that into a spreadsheet to figure out, because I wanted to know how much volume did I need on my left leg and my right leg in order to do that. So whatever goal it is that you have in mind for your next achievement, whether it be you want to do $100 a week to pay for your kids' gymnastics, if you want to do $100 a week to pay for your groceries, if you wanted to do $500 a month to pay for your car, whatever it is, I encourage you to find a number, attach something very tangible to it, and start reverse engineering. Because once you have that clarity and why, what you're moving towards, you're going to get there much quicker versus, yeah, cool, I'd like to earn a little bit of extra income. That feels a lot less exciting than I'm doing whatever it takes to get to Disney World. And Disney World wasn't an income per se, but it was a very specific, I had to earn Success Club, I had to get to Diamond in 90 days, all these things. So again, if it's an income goal, what is your income that you need? And, how long, you can plug in here to see how long it's going to take you to get there. So here in this particular one, I have in here an $18, which is what you'll be paid at for the diamond rank. If you're an emerald, it's going to be $14 per cycle. If you're a ruby coach, you're going to get $16 per cycle bonus. And as a diamond, $18 per cycle bonus. So if I wanted to, let me see if I have it backwards the other way. See which one this is. So if I had my weekly earning goal of, we'll just leave it how it is, $504, or let's make it $100. If I had a weekly earning goal of $100 per week and I was at a diamond level getting paid $18, then it's telling me that I need to earn 6 cycle bonuses in order to earn that $100. Okay, and so if you're an emerald, you can change that to 14, and it'll tell you need 7 cycles. So what does that tell you? That tells you on your weak leg, you're going to need at least 714 team volume, and on your strong leg, and this is if you have weak and strong legs. If you don't freak out. I'll help you in a second. On your strong leg, you're going to need 1,428, and so you can drop this down a little bit even further. And that's what I liked to do, because I was like, okay, that's great, but what does that mean in like terms of people? How many, Shakeology orders need to happen? What does that look like? So it breaks it down here on your weak leg. I'm going to need, and this is dividing by 90 because the volume associated with a Shakeology is 90. On my weak leg, I'm going to have at least 8 Shakeology orders per week that need to go out, and on my strong leg I'm going to need 16. Okay, and so that is like that's creating like something that's just a lot more tangible, and so that way you can start to see. Now the way that you break this down can be however you want. So you could have 8 discount coaches enrolled on one leg, and that will give you 8 Shakeology orders. Or you could have 2 coaches enrolled who each have 4 customers. So you can start breaking this down and getting creative with it, and just trying to wrap your head around how it is that you're going to move forward with that. If you have even legs, which I do, there's pros and cons to both. There's benefits to both, so there's not a right way or a wrong way. It's just a different kind of structure as you build. So when you have even legs, so it's going to look a little bit different. And don't ask me how this formula came about, because I don't know and I don't remember. Somebody gave it to me at some point, but there's a formula and it's calculated at the diamond rank. So when you wanted to earn, let's say we had a weekly earning goal here of $504, and the team cycle bonus is $18, that would mean you'd need a total of 28 cycles. So what you're going to do if you have evenish legs is you're going to add both of them together. So when you see left leg is at 4,000 and right leg is at 4,400, when you add those together, Combined, you have 8,400. And so the formula for that is whatever the combined number is, you multiply that by 0.06. So if you see up here in the little formula bar, that's already written in here. And again, that would give you this, 93 total orders of Shakeology. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely share the spreadsheet with you guys. You guys can come in and play with this. But this is really exciting. And this is where you can come in and just kind of tinker around and say, okay, well, how about if I wanted to actually throw in housekeeping once a month too? And let me bump up my goal a little bit. And this is where we start dreaming. So, from here, this is what, I want to ask you next is, especially if you're in a place where I was when I first started, that I couldn't see past tomorrow, I want to help you be able to start getting some visions for you and your family. If you don't already have something that's like exciting to you, it doesn't have to be that you want to leave your full-time job and stay home. That's not everybody's. Some people, I have coaches on my team who are veterinarians and they absolutely love their practice and they have no intentions of leaving. And that's totally cool. But it's just important that you connect with something that's important for you. So there's some ideas in here that I wrote. Shakeology, that was my first one. I wanted to upgrade my health. So my first one was like, I just want Shakeology, right? And this can change over time as well. Maybe you want to be responsible in your house for gas, and maybe you want to get organic grocery delivery. You've never been able to feel like you could justify the cost, but now you're going to make that extra money and you're going to be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to order the groceries to my doorstep and they're going to be organic. Like that, I'm a grocery dork. That excites me, but I love getting home and seeing the groceries on the doorstep. It's just like, oh. Maybe you want a housekeeper. Maybe you want to do salon outings. Maybe, you want to do your nails once a month and you aren't doing that right now. Maybe another one that when I first started, since I was still running, I was like, well, I want to be able to cover my race fees if I want to go do something. Or maybe I just want to go to Target and walk the aisles like Jeanette Maceda does. And I want to pick up 5 things and put them in my cart and not have to freaking worry about it. Maybe I want to take my husband on a date night. Or I don't have a husband, I don't have one of those. So maybe I just want to go out with the girls for a girls' night out, right? And I want to hire the babysitter and not stress over it. Maybe I want to have a travel budget for my family. We want to do a vacation once a year that I want to take care of. Tuition, that was another big why of mine, was moving my children to their dream school, my dream school. Freedom from debt, lots of us have debt with credit cards, student loans, all these different things. Personal growth seminars. One amazing thing about those is, besides the fact that they're tax deductible, they are like going to benefit you in every area of your life, even, in your marriage and your relationship with your children and your relationship with your, family. It's going to affect and improve every area of your life. If you do car payment, kids' college, charitable contributions, retirement fund. If you love your job and you're already banking, maybe you want an occupational plan B. Like, what happens if they close down tomorrow? Do you have a plan B? Dependent care. Maybe you have parents that are getting older and you want to be able to take care of them when that time comes. Your dream home, or even just creating a legacy for the family that you don't even know yet. Like, how cool is that? So this is the magic piece. Let me check on time really quick. Okay, cool. We're doing it. So this is the magic piece that I think most recently has come to mind to me, because a lot of times I would teach everybody how to reverse engineer. We'd pick a number, like we were just looking at, right? Pick a number and let's figure out how you're going to do it. And that is a very important piece. However, there's something that, again, recently it's come to my attention that is missing. A lot of times we say to ourselves, well, once I have this, then I'll be, XYZ. Then I'll be a leader. Once I have a team, then I'll be a leader. And we're really actually doing that in reverse, because what we need to do is really step into we need to first visualize who is it that we're going to be once we've achieved these things. So once I have my groceries delivered on my front porch and my kids are in the school of my dreams and I'm pulling up in my new car and my mom, I'm meeting her for a lunch date and I'm working from home, like once, how am I going to feel? What am I going to be doing? What habits do I have to keep running this awesome organization? What are those type things? What characteristics did I develop? And how do I think about things? With what abundance mindset? And when you grab that and start embodying that immediately now, not when you have the success, but right now, that is when everything is going to shift for you. And like that silly movie keeps coming up, and I don't know, I hope everybody here has seen it, but that movie Field of Dreams, that old movie where they're like, if you build it, they will come. And that guy had to go stand out in the cornfields like a crazy man. And sometimes we need to do that. We need to have the belief that when we go do the work, then the people will come. Not necessarily when the people will come, then I'll be a good leader. When the people come, then I'll put myself on a tighter schedule. When my team comes, no, sometimes you got to just go do it as if you have already accomplished it, as if you already have that success. And then that will bring in the success afterwards. But so many times we're so busy doing it the opposite way that we miss that. So, there's, really important homework that I want for you guys to do. And hopefully you can upload this. Sorry, Katrina and Melissa, but I gave you homework to put in you guys' team page by tomorrow at noon, because this is something, guys, you could stick it on your to-do list. And I know how long that to-do list is. It's like never ending. So this is on the ASAP urgent, do it right now to-do list. Create 3 to 4 goals that you want to accomplish between here and June. And these should be massive goals, guys. These shouldn't be things that you're tiptoeing around. These should be goals that you're like, oh my gosh, that makes me want to puke. I feel like, do I really want to write that down? As soon as you hear that, yes, absolutely. That's the one that you need to write down. And then once you've got those down, I need you to look at those. And as if you are already in Indianapolis with all of us, having accomplished those things, what 4 power words describe the person that you are? Are you confident? And don't use like words that are just so generic, like confident. You can use it if you have to, but think about, what are you committed? Are you convicted? Convicted is a big one for me. Are you consistent? What are these words? And as you think of these words, create 4 of them and start declaring them over yourself every day. Not only that, but think of a new habit that will align with those identities and start doing it immediately, tomorrow, day after day after day after day. And that is really going to just create such a different dynamic in your business and in the way that you will be able to accomplish your goals. I think we're about to get booted off the call because it says less than a minute remaining, but does it boot us? I love you guys. Get your homework done, and I hope that you guys all message me if you have any questions, okay?
Love you, Aimee. Thank you so much. Girls, thanks for hopping on. She's amazing.
Bye.
Bye, Maddie.